Probably honestly one of the most fulfilling things I've honestly done in my life, and I know that might sound silly. It's just coaching a recreational soccer team, but I grew up in this community. I grew up right down the street, and this community has really shaped who I've become as an adult. And Northside Lexington means a lot to me, and to give back to the community by coaching a team of kids who grew up in the same neighborhood has really been very fulfilling.
Speed, now! You're getting too late.
My name's Jalen, and my favorite player is Neymar.
We thought we were just going to touch the boys' lives, and it definitely touched our lives. It's been something that we've been passionate about, but this has been something that kids are coming to the games. People that live in the community are coming over to the south side of town to watch them play. Former students, middle school kids, they're jumping on the Common Good bus and going over and watching this team. We've got teachers that have never had these kids in their classes, but they're getting up on a Saturday morning and they think it's the greatest thing in the world. In fact, some of the teachers were talking about this tailgate in the spring before their game, and I'm like, oh wow, so it's just been an unbelievable thing for our school and the community as far as building relationships with them.
My name's Shimon, and my favorite player is Leonardo.
I had a passion for soccer, and at the same time, our Hispanic population was increasing, and a lot of those kids, even though they hadn't really played organized soccer, they had a passion for soccer just because their parents played soccer and things like that.
My name is Hunter, and my favorite soccer player is Gareth Bale.
So it started out, we had this after-school program. We meet once a week, and we teach them basic drills. It was kind of like an extension from our soccer unit in PE. And it kind of grew a little bit, and then we got these two boys, and they just, once they started, neither of them had never played organized soccer before. One of them wasn't really a soccer fan, just a little bit, not really. Once they started getting their foot on the ball, A, their skills started exploding, and B, their passion for the game just exploded. So they were literally, every time I turned around, they were tugging on my shirt saying, when are we gonna have practice? When are we gonna have soccer club? When are we gonna do this?
My name is DK, my favorite player is Cristiano Ronaldo.
It was funny because, we had mainly been an indoor team as far as everything, because of the weather and because of our facilities, especially when we were at the Johnson building. We didn't have really any facilities, so we were all indoors. So it was funny, the first season, our first 3 or 4 games, they were like, grass, what is this? And they didn't know any of the rules really as far as the difference between what we did, so we were trying to do it on the fly. But then after about the 3rd game, it just clicked.
My name is Ivan, my favorite soccer player is Neymar.
Since it started, Joe and I have kind of developed a passion as far as, we can really do something special here at this side of town because there's so much talent. We've got kids that, a basketball team, you can't have that many players, and so there's all these great athletes that, once they get to high school, their options are limited. And at the same time, soccer is a sport that it's really difficult once you're in 9th grade or older, to start a sport.
My name is Shayla, my favorite soccer player is Roberto.
We felt like there was so much untapped potential in this part of the town that we could develop them and then cut them loose, get them into the bigger programs, and just give them another opportunity to succeed in life. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
My name is Michael, my favorite soccer player is Messi.
At the end of last season, we decided to play, because I was like, we're dominating these teams. Let's see what's going to happen against a select team. So I called a coach from here in town and said, why don't we see if we can get a scrimmage with these guys. I'll pull a couple other players from the league that we're in, and we'll just call it 9th All-Star team and play you guys, just to have it. Maybe you guys can find some players to come play with your team. Maybe, I kind of use it as a recruiting tool. That was my whole point. And so we played the game, and I was really worried that we were just going to get smashed because the select game is a different speed level than what we played at. But it ended up, I think we won 8-3.
My name's Chris, and my favorite soccer player is Messi.
It gave those guys an opportunity to play for a select, so now we've got 3 guys that were on our team are now playing for a select team, that's probably the most rewarding thing, knowing that we had a part of them going to that.
My name is Josh, and my favorite player is Ibrahimovic.
I think a big purpose of this kind of developed that where we want to help these kids after. It's important for us that they continue their soccer careers. We realize some of them aren't. They're going to go to junior high and they're going to want to play football and other sports, but that we felt that, if we get just some of these kids to keep playing, and hopefully that they can use it in their life to become not just better people, but hopefully stick with soccer and play for good programs.